After many, many months of pretty bad publicity, Captain America Brave New World has finally been released, and holy fuck. This movie is a train wreck from start to finish. And the big question is, what went wrong? But it's a lot easier to answer what went right. So we'll quickly start with that before going into what went wrong. Even though it's a terrible movie, there are still a lot of things that did go right in this movie. Starting off, in my opinion, the best part about this movie is the actor who played Isaiah Bradley. He is fantastic in the role. I liked him in Falcon Winter Soldier, and he's amazing here. His emotions, his line delivery, even him being a little bit comedic, he did such a great job portraying the character. He was easily the best character in the movie, hands down, without question. I do like Anthony Mackie and the Falcon as Captain America. I think he does a great job, and I think passing the shield to him makes total sense. And I like him being Captain America, and he continues that from Falcon and Winter Soldier. Anthony Mackie does a good job. It's not amazing, nothing to write home about, but he does a good job. Seeing Red Hulk, which we've known we would have to see since 2008, so nice to finally get this payoff. It's just such a shame it wasn't with William Hurt because I think he would have done a much better job than Harrison Ford. I really wish we saw William Hurt finally get the payoff he deserved. It's a shame he passed away, but I'm glad they at least adapted and recast instead of just rewriting the story as they've done before. So the recasting I'm happy with. And I like Torres, the new Falcon. I think he's comedic, he's fun, he helps bring up the energy. He's not goofy. I think after that, it's there's not much else that's really too good.
From the trailers, we kind of knew what we were going to get. With the reshoots, it's almost impossible for a movie to have reshoots of this kind and then still be good. Anthony Mackie as the new Captain America, I like him. I was very surprised that I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Here, this is his own story, and he's doing his own thing. He's but ultimately also trying to live up to Steve Rogers' legacy, which is hard as hell to do because he's not a super soldier, and he struggles with it. And I like that it shows it here that he struggles with shit. Should I take this super soldier serum? Should I just keep going? Because I've been asking myself that. I'm like, dude, why haven't you just taken the fucking super? Clearly that shit's out there now. It's just like you can go buy it at fucking 7-Eleven now, which I'm not a fan of. I love the character of Isaiah. It comes, full circle from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Harrison Ford kind of just, you know, phones it in here, but the dude is getting up there in age, and
He looks it. He really
yeah,
looks it.
uh, I don't know how that conversation. I'm very interested to hear Harrison explain that conversation, like when he got called up by Kevin Feige and hey, we want you to play Thunderbolt Ross and we want you to turn into the Red Hulk because I remember Harrison Ford. He was just done with Star Wars. He was like, I just kill me. I just don't want to do this goofy shit anymore. And I guess he's just reached that part of his life and that age where he's just like, you know what? I could use a couple $1 million. I'll just fucking do it. So I don't blame him for that. Do I think he's as good as William? No. That's not bad on Harrison's part. I just think William was a much better actor and of course a much better Thunderbolt Ross. I just that dude was just he's one of those actors that you can't replace, but I am glad, as Griff says, that they did recast because and not just some we just don't have Thunderbolt Ross anymore. Because I would have been wondering the whole time, like, well, he had such a hard on for Banner. Like, where the hell is he now?
Not to mention like the joke about changing face and just shaving the mustache. I thought was really
I
well
like
done.
that
It was
I
perfect.
I love that they touched on that because as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, I know that's Harrison Ford, but he could have grown a mustache. And I'm not for sure, but I think it's out there somewhere on the internet that Harrison was just like, I'm not doing the fucking mustache. And then that's why they came up with the gag of like, because he's the president, so he was like, oh. The polls
Makes
say that
sense.
voters prefer be without a mustache, and that's exactly what a brand new president would do. He'd be like, "Yeah, okay, so if the voters want it, I'll shave that shit off because I did it for my kid, and she's not a voter." Um, so I like that they talked about that. I do like the dynamic between the president Ross and fucking Captain America, because I think that that's what they would be talking about, and I like that they tie into the fucking Eternals because how many projects after Eternals and fucking that gigantic fucking thing sticking out of the ocean? No one even mentioned that.
I think it's like seven
That
now.
that never made any fucking sense to me. How like, I mean, if it was like something small, but this gigantic fucking thing is growing out of the ocean and no one just ever mentions it. So I like that they addressed that here. I like that they addressed a certain metal that we're gonna get pretty soon, because why the hell not? And I do like the fact that this kind of ties into 2008's Incredible Hulk.
Oh, very much does. Extremely.
I like the banter. I like the new Falcon. I think the dude's funny. No, it's not because he's Latino. I just think he's funny, but he's
Yeah.
funny in a proper way. Because there's a difference between being funny.
He's
If
not
you saw a
cringy.
review on Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, it's not funny. It's just goofy. I don't like goofiness. So here it's funny. I like the all the air battles. I like. I just Captain America with big ass blue and red and white wings. It fucking, I don't know why it just clicks for me. The space battles. I'm just a sucker for dogfights, man. I like it. The CGI could have been better, some of those backgrounds, but we'll get to that in a bit.
I also forgot the
Um,
suit's amazing. I love the suit. Suit's
the suit
fantastic.
looks awesome. Yeah. I just really like the red, white, and blue as opposed to that the white outfit. I hated that one. Remember the one with like the fucking like thong thing over his head? Even Anthony was like, that shit, it was hot, it was annoying. I
Yeah.
told him no. That's where it ends for me on the good stuff.
I'm gonna be brutally honest, and I really wish it wasn't like this. I'm not counting the Netflix stuff in this. I
No, I am.
think I'm talking about what I'm about to say. I think this is maybe the second worst MCU project for me. Just right above the Marvels. I'm trying to think if there are any others, but this is worse than Eternals. It's worse than Secret Invasion. This project sucks.
This is worse than Eternals for you?
This is worse than Eternals. Again,
Holy
given hold
shit.
up,
That is a
given I
surprise.
have not seen Eternals since the movie came out, but there
Oh,
were a
I
lot
guarantee if you
more.
rewatch that shit, you'll change your mind.
Okay, maybe I'll watch it tonight and I'll put it in the comments or something.
I promise you
Maybe watch it
tomorrow you're
tomorrow.
gonna be like, yep.
But Eternals had much more redeeming qualities, whereas this, oh my God, I'm gonna forget the number of things I don't like about this film. I promise you, there's more than what I'm gonna say just because there's too much. Starting off, the first 5 minutes of this film is useless. It doesn't make any fucking sense. We didn't need it, and it ruins the pacing of the story. We should have just started after the tiny brief time skip. Just start immediately right there. That would have been better. This little start that we had, we didn't need to see Thunderbolt Ross getting sworn in. Wasn't needed. Didn't see any of those scenes at all. The main villain, the leader, his design blows. His design in the comics isn't amazing either, but Jesus Christ, the design's awful. He's not even introduced, which sucks. They just assume people know him, and in case you are like really
Haven't
paying
seen the dude
attention,
like in 10 years, but
oh yeah, you haven't seen him in 17 years, and even if you saw 2008's Hulk, the odds that you know he's leader and who they're referring to, slim. So fucking slim. He's not introduced a single goddamn time. It's awful. And we were so excited to see Giancarlo Esposito. You can 100% tell that character was ran in reshoots. Not needed in the plot whatsoever. Fucking useless. Such a waste of a brilliant actor. God, I wish it was Professor X because he fucking sucks here. He does great in the role. But it's wasted potential. He's on the screen for like 5 minutes, not needed whatsoever. He was put in these trailers, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. It's fucking terrible. The backgrounds, like the CG, is not good. You could definitely tell Anthony Mackie trying to do martial arts and all these fist fighting is it's not good. It's just not his forte. So I'm glad they did move on from that to more of the dog fights that Edward was talking about. The writing throughout is fucking atrocious. The writing in this movie is the worst out of any MCU project, and I will stand by that. The writing, The plot and stories, the way they weave it together is terrible. It's so jerky and jarring that it's just literally dragging you by a leash, dragging you on the floor, taking you from event to event with no introductions, no development, no saying why this shit's happening. It's fucking, it's almost unwatchable at the start. I can't stand this movie. I don't know how we went from such fantastic writing from like Winter Soldier to this shit. This is not Captain America 4. This is a new thing. The Captain America trilogy is perfect, and we're keeping it that way. This is not a 4 movie series. This movie is not part of it. This is separate. This is awful. Also, I just there's too many things. I'll probably remember some more, but it's fucking awful.
I'm gonna stand up for this movie a little bit, and then I'm gonna give you guys what I don't like about it. So first of all, I do have to defend the movie in on the fact that I don't agree with Griffin that he says it's as bad as uh Secret Invasion, and that it's because maybe he's forgetting because it's been a while.
No, I have not forgotten Secret
Um,
Invasion.
he's forgetting. He's for sure forgetting She-Hulk.
Nope,
That
I've
was
not forgotten
sh-
She-Hulk. This is worse
this
than
is way
She-Hulk.
no. There's no
Yes,
fucking way.
this is worse
And
than She-Hulk.
I'm gonna tell you why. So She-Hulk was, and I'm not defending She-Hulk. That was complete and utter trash, and so was Secret Invasion. I don't think this is worse than those because this has, first of all, it has better actors than those projects. Uh, Secret Invasion does have good actors, but they didn't know what to do with them. The trailer looked good. They never landed. You
But
have Rhodey there, who's not. He hasn't been Rhodey for some time. It just didn't fucking go anywhere. This movie, I get it, but this movie does have the dynamic between Captain America, President Ross. We got Red Hulk, and I for all the people that are bitching that, oh, but he's only there for like 5 minutes. Yeah, I never had an issue with Red Hulk being on screen for 5 or 8 minutes because I always knew the way they showed him in the trailer. When they show that big of a character, and I'm not talking size, I'm just the fan base behind Red Hulk and how long
yeah,
we've been as Griff since fucking 2008. From if they show him in the trailer, I was like, oh, we're getting him. If I thought we were gonna get him for 3 minutes, honestly, I thought he was gonna Hulk out, punch the shit out of something, and that would have been it. I actually really liked what we saw tearing through the fucking White House, taking on Captain America. I gotta say though, and this is not a jab at Anthony, but it did make me miss. I just I'm a fan of fucking Hulk, Red Hulk against Steve Rogers, Captain America,
yeah.
because he has a hard time holding his own. So the whole time I'm watching, essentially X-Falcon do it, I'm like, but it's just She-Hulk is just one of, and the Marvels too. The Marvels had that fucking
Oh,
singing.
this is better than the Marvels. But I guess my biggest reason, and yes, this movie does have more redeeming moments than like Secret Invasion and She-Hulk. But the biggest reason, I guess, why I'm rating it so poorly is that even in the Marvels, they knew how to write a basic ass story. They knew the definition of story. Here,
I don't
no,
know if you can. I don't.
they did
Well, I
not.
mean, it's fair that you have that opinion, but I don't know if to me knowing how to write a story means you write stupid ass
It's
scenes like
well,
that
but they know
whole
like the
dance
basics of it
song.
though. Yeah,
I
that's
know, but it's
stupid as
still
fuck. But they still knew how to get from place to place, and that movie also had a terrible story. But at least there they introduced characters. It didn't feel like we're being dragged. Where here it was so jarring that I don't know. Through all the reshoots, I guess this was the best
it,
they could do. Again, this is
I
better
think
than the
that's what it
Marvels,
was.
but
I
it's
I
just
think
the
I
reshoots
think that's what it was.
hurt it.
But I still think that if it's better than the Marvels, to
It's
me,
better than
it's
the
better than
Marvels.
it's better than She-Hulk. It's better than fucking Secret Invasion, and it's
Fair.
better than Eternals.
I'll rewatch
Because it's
Eternals and
got
let you know.
because it has those redeeming qualities, and to me the Marvels, She-Hulk, and fucking Secret Invasion, they don't have those redeeming qualities. Like, to me, killing Maria Hill the way that they did, and then they just
Yeah,
there's
they
no
just forgot
funeral,
about
they
it.
don't, yeah, they just the
That
next
Secret Invasion had
episode
a
we're
lot
just
of
like, yeah.
potential.
But getting right down to it, so what I hated about this movie is the fights. Not the dog fights, the CGI fights. They're up in the air. That's fine, even though some of the background looks a little wonky. But and I don't necessarily agree that Anthony's martial art, because they could have trained him better. It's
Yeah.
not that. It's just I can't put my finger on it. There's something about the fucking hand-to-hand fighting in these. And
This was
remember,
okay. We're also going like
it's
comparing it to Steve Rogers, which was those were some of the best
exactly.
choreographed
So
fights in the MCU.
we're coming off of the Netflix Daredevil and the Disney Plus Daredevil Born Again trailer. And we all saw what Scarlett Johansson was able to do as Black Widow. She refused to have a stunt double for, those flips she used to do where she used to like turn people over. She did those. So we're used to coming from shit like that, where you're like, how did we get from all of that to these fights? These fights, first of all, they're not entertaining. They don't look cool, and they're jarring as fuck. Like I was looking at, there's one particular one that I'm like, I wonder if they got the same fucking dude that they got for the Daredevil movie where they do that stupid ass playground thing. Because I'm like, why?
It's
You have money, you have time, you have a studio
yeah.
that's behind you. Just get this shit right.
And what's worse is
I
those are
didn't
the
like
reshot
this.
scenes. All the action scenes are the
That
reshot sequences they added to the movie,
that
and it
sucks.
sucks.
That makes it worse. The leader is fucking useless. He's in the background, like a puppet master, but his look is ridiculous. It just we've been waiting 17 years to see this character resurface and like really pull strings. Just the look is dumb. The actor doesn't, he's not given much to do. The, what I hate the most about this fucking movie is absolutely Giancarlo Esposito. I love that actor. Griffin and I are the two dudes. Well, there's a lot of you guys out there, but we're one of you guys that are like, you know what? Giancarlo Esposito, fucking Denzel Washington, Charles Xavier Magneto. People are like, why? Magneto and people that tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Magneto and Charles Xavier were metaphors for Malcolm X, and I'm not saying Malcolm X was violent. I'm just saying that's where Stan Lee and Jack Kirby took
Mhm.
inspiration from Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King. I just think it's a miss. I just think you have a phenomenal fucking actor. That would be like getting Sir Ian McKellen and having him do a Curious George movie. Like, just you missed an opportunity with a phenomenal actor to put him in a great role and really use him and bring him into the MCU, and you have him be there for fucking 3 minutes and not do anything.
Not to mention we got Serpent Society finally, and they were fucking useless. That was they were so unthreatening, and we only got one of the members. It was fucking awful.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that I think is the greatest tragedy of this movie is to have an actor of that caliber
Hmm.
and you have him on screen for fucking 3 minutes. And Griff's right. He was cast as part of these fucking reshoots just to have filler. You already have a main villain. You already have Red Hulk. You didn't need this character who doesn't do anything but be on the fucking phone and shoot a couple of bullets. Any asswipe, any extra could have done that. That pisses me off. And I'll finish with this. Captain America. This pisses a lot of my friends off, but because a lot of people are like, no, the Nolan trilogy. No, man. As far as solid, perfect trilogies go, I'll stand by this. The original Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, I don't care what anyone says, and fucking Captain America.
Oh
Captain
yeah.
America 1, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, and fucking Civil War. That is a perfect trilogy. I don't consider this a part of that saga. Not because of any stupid notion you guys may think about. It's just because this is a brand new Captain America who's been handed down the torch, if you will, and he's off on his own new arc. If they want to do a second and third one to this one, then that'll be a new trilogy.
Yeah.
And I feel kind of bad for Anthony because he's stepping
He's
into
good.
Chris Evans' shoes. And
Hmm.
Chris Evans, he played, I'll die on this hill, a great human torch and a phenomenal fucking Captain America. I couldn't stand him as Steve Rogers, but I also miss him. But that's what I'm supposed to. I'm not supposed to stand Captain America. He's kind of like Superman. He's that perfect fucking hero who even when faced with, like in Civil War, just signed fucking accords and we're good. He couldn't do it because he's just that upright about shit. And he's a super soldier.
Hmm.
And this dude's not. So it's it's kind of like upskating uphill, man. It's a hard battle to win. It's kind of like whoever's going to step into the new Iron Man shoes. So eventually, we will get a new Iron Man. I don't
Hmm.
envy that dude. I mean, he's
Yeah.
stepping into Robert Downey Jr.'s fucking shoes. It's crazy.
One thing I do want to add, and we've gone through a lot that's bad about this movie, but one thing that's going to lead directly into the Thunderbolts, or maybe this movie takes place after the Thunderbolts, we'll see. But been in trailers and in TV spots. Bucky
I
has a
forgot about that.
cameo in this movie. The cameo's good. He definitely fits. I like seeing Bucky and Captain America together. Always have, always will. But why the fuck is James Buchanan Barnes being a future congressman? And not to mention, how the fuck then is he still going to be going on missions for the Thunderbolts? So this movie better take place after the Thunderbolts, or else that's going to make no goddamn sense. But then why aren't we hearing about the Void and Sentry? There's no way a congressman would be going out with the Thunderbolts to fight the fucking Void. Why was that their choice? How is that the natural character arc for Bucky? He should be training the next generation, not being a politician for this. I don't I don't get
I
it.
was gonna say something, but now I'm not because I don't understand. Also, I'm tired of. I understand the need to do it, but I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of fucking this shit coming out of chronological order.
Yeah. Again, it's
I'm not a.
speculation. Who knows? We don't know for sure.
I hope it is, but I'm not a fan of that shit. Like I don't need this to take place 7 years after Daredevil Born Again and the new Spider-Man 4, and then fucking the Thunderbolts take place in the past of it. I just it's a bit jarring. I've never been a fan of it, but yeah, that shit makes no sense. I do like it's not because I was asked, oh, maybe you just don't like seeing Bucky in a suit.
I
I don't
love
mind.
Bucky.
I think he's great. I mean, again, we live in a world where Donald Trump is now president, so I wasn't gonna say it, but I have to say it because Bucky is now running for Congress and shit.
He's going to be a congressman. It's all but
As soon
confirmed.
as I saw that, I was like, wait, he's an ex fucking Russian spy assassin.
But you
But then
also
I
have
thought,
to also
well,
like you have an ex-Russian spy who is the head of the president's security cabinet as well.
yes.
Okay,
So,
at least they didn't make her character as she was in the comics, because that oh boy, that would have been polarizing as fuck. That would have been a that would have made this movie so much worse. There is one after credit scene for Captain America Brave New World, so make sure to stay for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go check out our recent Spider-Man review, as that is the MCU's most recent TV project, and it's a hell of a lot better than this.
oh, easily.